Energy never disappears, it only changes form. Stephen Hawking. We've all heard the phrase, keep your vibrations high. Esoteric teachers, psychologists, and practitioners repeat it. It sounds beautiful, inspiring, even a little frightening, because hidden within it is control. If you're angry, if you're sad, if you're tired, it means you've fallen. It means you're not in the flow. It means something is wrong with you. This is how a new way of fearing oneself is born. A person begins to monitor every thought and emotion, as if checking a battery level. Joy, good, your purity rises. Sadness, failure, fix it immediately. But life does not follow this ruler, and true energy cannot be measured as higher or lower. We've been taught to think that strength comes only when we're always glowing and smiling. But the truth is that's a myth. Energy is not the result of technique, nor a reward for correct emotions. Energy is the inherent right of being. It exists within you always, even when you're enraged or in tears. It is this very myth about vibrations that made us dependent. We stopped trusting ourselves and believed in a scale invented by the mind. This myth keeps millions of people trapped in fear. In esoteric circles, they love to say, raise your vibrations and energy will appear. But in reality, it's the opposite. Energy is not something to obtain or hold. Energy is the very foundation of reality. Stephen Hawking wrote, energy never disappears. It only changes form. This is not a metaphor, but a law of nature. In every breath, in every movement, in every state of being, energy is already present. It does not depend on whether you are angry or meditating. Albert Einstein proved that energy and mass are one and the same. His formula, where energy equals mass times the speed of light squared, changed our understanding of a universe. The world we perceive as solid is, in fact, vibrations of energy in various forms. Modern physicist Max Tegmark goes even further. He says the universe itself is a mathematical structure, a kind of code, and what we call energy are low or high vibrations, the universal language through which reality manifests. Energy does not disappear or appear on command. It is not a reward for correct thoughts. It exists always by right of your existence. When you stop forcing yourself into the "I must sound higher" frame, energy begins to be felt directly, as warmth in the chest, softness in the body, as simple presence that needs no invention. Energy is not something additional. It is the very fabric of being. Modern quantum physics shows matter is not made of bricks, but of field oscillations, patterns of probabilities, which only become solid at the moment of interaction. What we call the world of things is like frozen splashes of the ocean of energy, appearing when we look at them. Max Tegmark, Roger Penrose, Carlo Rovelli, and other researchers describe it in different words. Reality is a process, not an object. It is a flow of information, energy, and consciousness that continuously renews itself. Here comes the crucial turn. Energy is not something to pump or attract. It never leaves, nor does it appear. It simply changes form, moving from one configuration to another. Even your state is not an increase or decrease of energy, but its current distribution. When the mind is anxious, energy flows into tension. When you observe, it unfolds into clarity, but its quantity is always the same. The question is only how you arrange it. The quantum field, in essence, is the universal library of these patterns. Consciousness is what chooses the page. Therefore, practices of raising vibrations are not about adding something on top, but about subtle tuning. Where you look, that comes alive. And then simple presence ceases to be something small or basic. It becomes your direct contact with energy that never disappears. You only need to stop chasing higher states. And suddenly, you realize that strength was always here. In your breath, in your body, in the very fact, I am. Thoughts are too fast and slippery. Big emotions we still notice, but subtle reactions slip away. The body never does. It always shows the truth. A tense diaphragm, dryness in the mouth, trembling in the legs, heaviness in the stomach, or on the contrary, lightness of breathing, warmth in the chest, shoulders open and relaxed. That is why relying on the body is not bypassing the mind, but a shorter path. You may not catch every thought, but the body will reveal its trace. As soon as you look into the sensation, the thought that created it becomes obvious. Then there is no need to chase the mind. It reveals itself through the body. That is why vibrations are a myth. True purity is not in the emotions or thoughts you have, but in how honestly you live in contact with yourself. You can be angry, sad, joyful, afraid. But if you notice it and allow it to pass, it leaves no trace. When you try to hold yourself high, you tighten yourself. And it is this tension that creates the persistent gray background that is later called bad vibrations. Energy is not measured on a scale. Energy is an honesty, and the body always leads directly there. The idea of keeping high vibrations sounds as if reality is measured like a battery level. But quantum physics tells a different story. Take Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. It shows that one cannot know both a particle's exact position and its momentum simultaneously. In other words, at a fundamental level, the world is not fixed matter, but a field of probabilities that never fits a linear scale. The same is true for a person. When we try to live by a vibration scale, joy is good, anger is bad. We reduce the living field to an artificial ruler. We fear emotions, we hide them, and energy may seem low. But when there is presence, I am, everything is perceived differently. Emotions and thoughts are not classified, but experienced as natural expressions. They come, change, and go. Energy begins to flow freely because we stop fixing it. The quantum law is simple. The observer does not measure the world by a scale, but allows it to manifest in many ways. Here, presence does not evaluate. It simply notices. And it is in this noticing that clarity and strength arise. True energy, therefore, is not about maintaining frequencies, but about allowing life to be as it is. An observation, and I am. We're used to hearing about the so-called law of vibrations. But if we look honestly in the way it is usually presented, it is a myth. There is no scale of high and low vibrations, as if reality works like a battery. Modern physics shows all is energy. It is neither higher nor lower. It changes form and manifestation. What we call vibration is not a level on a scale, but the language of the universe itself. What matters is not the mythical rise of vibrations, but where you are looking from. Your consciousness decides how energy gathers into reality. When you live in fear, that same energy gathers into an image of threat. When you live in trust, it gathers into an image of flow. And this is the true law, not a scale, not mythology, but awareness that forms the pattern of energy right now. There is no need to seek high vibrations. No need to measure yourself on a scale of the right state. Just return to observation, to pure I am. Then what esoteric teachers call the law of vibrations manifests in its true essence, as the strength that is always here, waiting only for your presence.